ragazzi, siamo qua con Vicky, che è una produttrice di musica cantonese, pop cantonese di Hong Kong, e quindi abbiamo questa fortuna di poterla intervistare. Io chiederò a lei intanto che cosa fa, che cosa nello specifico, così da poter fare delle domande a una professionista rispetto a quello che è il mondo musicale di Hong Kong. So, Vicky,
Hi Jack, nice to meet you.
No, I told to the camera who you are, but it's better if you explain who you are, what you do.
My name is Vicky Fung. I have been in the Hong Kong industry for a bit over 20 years. So I started very young, just to make sure you know that I'm still young. But well, I started out to be a songwriter when I was still actually being a lawyer, and so I really wanted to pursue my music career. So I started writing songs while I was in university, and then I insisted writing songs. But then after a few years of like writing melodies for other artists, I wanted to sing my own songs, like, because you know, sometimes when you give the melodies to other people, they may not interpret the same way that you do. So I started maybe making my own music. So I released my first album in 2005. So that was really an experiment for myself, just trying to do something that I wanted to do. But then went into it, I started to see different things. For example, I realized how narrow the pop music market was, because people in Hong Kong, especially talking about maybe 10 to 15 years ago, they pretty much just focus on the mainstream media. So if you are on TV, then you're an artist. But if you're not on TV, then you're not an artist. So as a singer-songwriter, it was kind of a bit difficult to start. And so I started to think maybe there are more things to be done apart from just writing music. So in 2007, I think, I thought maybe Hong Kong needs a place where real musicians and professionals in the industry can actually meet. And so a group of friends who were all active in the industry then, we got together and created a live house in Central. And so we started that live house showcasing all different kinds of music, from indie to jazz to pop to rock to something really heavy, like even visual rock will be there. I think that place had a big significance in Hong Kong music scene, because that's like one of the first local musicians operate, and we have seen musicians from around the world coming into Hong Kong to play at that place. So we felt very happy about, you know, having that thing
grow.
In that place where we started. But then after 8 years, the rent got too high, so we were forced to close it. But during those 8 years, I also saw my career path growing a lot, because not just being a songwriter anymore, I'm like music events organizer. So we have to like organize events every single night. You know, that was really fruitful. So I met a lot of musicians, I met a lot of producers, artists, artist managers. So that 8 years gave me a lot of different experience in the industry. And then what I saw was there were very, very talented young artists. And so amongst all these artists, there were a few whom I thought, you know, they were really talented, but there was no one there to help them, like to actually support their music dreams. So from there, I actually signed up my first 3 artists just from that live house. So that's how I started to become an artist manager. And that's kind of the period where when me and my production partner started our music label, and that kind of changed my life. Like, you know, not just musically, but really my life. At the moment, I manage 5 artists. So every year our label is like producing maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 tracks a year. So it's quite a lot in this kind of, you know.
4 albums.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, 4 or 5 albums.
10 songs per album. But talking about your manager career, how hard is to manage all these artists?
Well, they're kind of, most of them are in the 20s. But there's the first singer-songwriter who signed up. When we met him, he was like 16. So we spent about 3-4 years exploring what he wanted to do. And then eventually, I think when he was about 21 years old, he really started releasing his first album. But when we decided to become an artist manager, honestly, that was a challenge for us because, like, okay, now you have to do all these other things, like you have to arrange styling, makeups, music videos, psychology is the most challenging. And
absolutely.
I'm sure you understand.
I kind of. I'm a producer, just a producer, but sometimes I am a psychologist. I spend days and days, afternoon and hours and hours just for talk. Hello, you know, it's not.
It's like you don't know what you're doing, but you need to do that. Right?
I need to do. I don't know if you agree.
I totally agree.
Okay.
I totally agree. And you know how me and the partners, we're like 2 different people, because I'm a female and my partner is a male. He's very much the production guy. I'm very much the like creative and the managerial side of things. So actually that combination is perfect. And then what it means is when the artists have any psychological problems, issues or just want to talk, they always come to me.
Obviously.
So kind of like it's kind of like a mother and a father in a way. I don't know how it came about, but you know, it feels that way. So the more I became a manager, the more I feel I'm like a life coach. I'm more like a life coach than the producer.
And you like it?
But I like it. I like it because I guess you spend a lot of time talking and building relationships. But to me, I don't know. I'm kind of like a people person. But I still very much like to write songs. So I still keep that going. Although I don't write as much as before. And to me, I think that's important to just keep my name in the market as a creative. Because otherwise people tend to forget you and think that, oh, you're no longer active in the industry. But I do want to keep that, you know, active image.
Absolutely. I think that now that the music business is more fast now in Italy. It's really fast business. And every a month, everything can change. I think maybe in 1 year. Artists that are absolutely in the wave, just in 2 or 3 months can be forgotten. Just because they are writing new songs and they don't post every time stories or things in Instagram, they seems like disappear, you know. So I know that it's very important to be in the
to be in the scene.
In the scene,
like you keep on doing something that people know you're still there.
Exactly.
Which is important.
How is the relation between old scene and the new scene? Because someone told me about this old scene that doesn't want anyone inside that, you know, the group, like a wall. And if you are young and if you are a new artist, it's really hard to try to manage this. I don't know if it's true.
In a way, it is, because I think the more experienced and the traditional media people are still obviously there are a lot of them still active, and the way they do the promotions are still quite the old or traditional way. So I think they feel comfortable with artists who actually understand the language.
Yeah.
The music is kind of like still the traditional cantopop, so they are quite comfortable with going along the old way. So they still keep signing younger artists, but they use the same traditional way to promote young artists.
So they are young, but they are promoted like
old.
Yeah.
And the problem is, the older audience don't necessarily appreciate the new ones because they only want to hear their old music. They actually don't want to hear new music.
So the problem is that young people, young musicians do old music.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, there's not much excitement in that. So personally, I don't quite prefer that. For example, my label, we have 5 different units of artists. So we've got 2 singer-songwriters, 1 female artist, 1 band and 1 group. And to us, honestly, sometimes it feels a little weird to actually go to very mainstream media, because like you know that the audience may not be looking for your type of music, but at the same time we also try to do more activities with the digital platforms. And honestly, the live performance is very important for younger artists as well, because that's the way they can let people know, how they perform, and then they can attract their audience even though they didn't know the music before. So when we choose to produce an album, like how traditional do you want to be? How non-typical you want to be? And somehow that when you try to be too traditional, your audience would think, oh, you're trying to be traditional.
Yeah, sure.
And
trying to be pop.
Yeah, and then when you're trying to be pop, when you're actually more indie, they would think, oh, you're trying to lose you're losing your character.
Sorry, it's some.
Yeah, but then the dilemma is if you want to be indie, which is what we want to do. I mean, the attitude and maybe the approach.
Yeah.
Then there is always this uncertainty on the commercial success. I think we have opened up a different approach to music that people start to see. We are not trying to be totally alternative or anything.
You're trying to mix it.
Yeah, we're trying to challenge the boundary. I guess even if we did have the choice, we might actually choose this exact path again.
Something that I've noticed talking with Cantonesian people is that the artists earn, especially with shows, the difference between your industry and our industry, because we starting to earn like musician with digital stores.
Right.
We earn a lot.
Really?
A lot.
That's very good.
Obviously, when you have some numbers, but we're really trying to begin to earn. When you must understand if an artist have audience, is by the listeners on Spotify.
Okay.
So it's important to have listeners on Spotify, and Spotify now is the leader on the market. So we earn with Spotify a lot. That's why we can say that little artists can, without reality, without being measured. So I think that maybe could be this something that, I don't know, maybe could be.
Yeah, the artist is the key. How he wants to navigate through his career on that streaming platform is totally free. It's like he has the choice of how he wanted to be, and his character somehow would be expressed through that platform.
You need to be free to express yourself like you want. I think that maybe sometimes they can express themselves and let audience answer to it. And for the major it's more easy because just the flow of what you do, and it's I think something that help the industry to express in a way that is new and is I think something that is useful for make money for let you know.
I suddenly while you were saying that, I wanted to share also about Hong Kong music market versus China music market. When we talk about social media, obviously China has very different sets of social media. So like as an artist, I think it gets very kind of exhausting trying to manage all the social media. Like you have, and then all of them are not connected. And to us, like as an art Hong Kong music label, it's interesting. Like, okay, we want to keep doing Canto music, which because it's our language, and but a lot of artists and labels, they have actually chosen to just go right into the Mandarin market. A lot of them say, don't give up. Like the Chinese fans, they said don't give up doing the Canto music because there is such a different air in the Cantonese music than in the Chinese music. I think to me, I don't know if that's the right way or good way of expressing it, but I think there's still this air of freedom in Hong Kong music. It's not like because the music form is free or anything. I think it's maybe the choice of words, maybe the way people express their own feelings. I'm not talking about the music type, I'm talking about the content.
I know. I've heard that not all the music of the Cantonesian music is allowed in China. It's true.
It's true. But personally, I don't understand too much the Chinese market, but all I know is that my music also can reach some parts of the Chinese audience, right? And it's very interesting to me that Chinese audience, actually quite a few of them still follow Cantonese music. Sometimes a lot of Hong Kong people say, the Hong Kong market is dead. Actually, I don't agree. It feels a bit sad when the local people say that as well. But then when you see potentially there is still this unique market that even China people want to hear, I think Hong Kong people needs to be more confident about themselves. Because I can understand why. Because you've got a very, very big country behind you, and we're like a spot. It's daunting to think that how can we deal with that, or we must accommodate ourselves to a much bigger market.
If it's possible according to you that Asian culture, talking about music, it's possible to export his style. To do an example, American music, trap music, just arrive in Italy, and in Italy we begin to do it in Italian.
Right.
So if it's possible in our language to use your aesthetic and your sound, I don't know if it's...
To me, I think having Asian culture exported to other countries is technically possible. Definitely when you see Korean music,
exactly.
Or even to a certain degree maybe Japanese music, I think that's possible. But for example, in Hong Kong, I think it still needs a lot of support if they really want to do that. Because we're talking about export, it means you have to have a lot of media support, exposure to be able to reach out to different, a different audience. And so that's one thing. I think also the local artist community would need to do much more to connect that, because for example, if we're talking about using a foreign music style with Cantonese music, with Cantonese language, to me I don't see that being very attractive or appealing appealing to foreign audience because you will still be listening to like foreign style music, just a different language.
Yes.
But of course, that would actually be appealing to the local audience because they're listening to something new with their language, right? I don't know if if I'm right or whatever. It's just my personal view. For example, I go to music festivals and I hear other bands or artists not in my language, right? Sometimes you're still very drawn to that band because you can feel from their words, even without understanding the language, that they're telling you something about their culture. It doesn't have to be the costume, it doesn't have to be translation or anything, but somehow when the music and it's just the content, when you hear it, you see it, you feel that you're getting that culture.
Yeah, you don't need to understand.
Yeah, you don't need to understand it. So to me, I still feel that there is a lot of work to be done when Hong Kong artists need to, if they really want to do that. Like, how does that music, when it's even in Cantonese, people who don't understand your language, and they will get what you're singing. So I think Hong Kong is still a very interesting place to a lot of people because of this unique Western East culture balance. Honestly, I still feel a gap because they can go out and be in music festivals, definitely. Their music is great. They can be a featured band in the music festival, but how does it represent Hong Kong? But that strikes me when I just hear other languages and other artists. I know that they're talking about their home country, but how can Hong Kong music do that? To me, it's actually more important to preserve the Cantonese language and to actually preserve the very unique melodic pattern.
So in conclusion, what do you expect for the future? What do you hope for Cantonesian music?
I think currently there a very strong wave of Hong Kong new talents. For example, like Sophie, they're young, they're talented. Their music can actually bring them to different levels. So I hope to see, for example, like music festivals from different countries can actually incorporate Hong Kong artists and musicians. Of course, the artists and musicians themselves have to do their work to be able to be reached.
So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ragazzi, abbiamo parlato con Vicky, ci ha detto quello che sono le sue aspettative per la musica cantonese. È stato veramente incredibile, bellissimo. Io sono super colpito da tutto, dalla cultura di questo posto e da come loro vogliono preservare la loro cultura, e credo che sia qualcosa da cui tutti noi dovremmo imparare anche dal punto di vista regionale, perché comunque la stessa cosa penso che valga anche per l'Italia, per quanto non abbiamo delle lingue specifiche, comunque abbiamo un linguaggio per ogni regione, quindi credo che sia qualcosa che ci possa tornare effettivamente molto utile. Ci vediamo alla prossima, grazie, ciao.